Fatty, I guess you lost some weight.
Yeah,
According to someone in the
probably.
chat.
I probably have. You know, I don't eat
Hazardous
much these days,
loss.
so.
The the British scump.
Alrighty.
Yeah, people are saying you're looking skinnier. That's good news.
That's probably
Yeah.
because I lost
Okay.
all that hair weight.
So let me back up. So Hitch
On the
is in,
beard.
so
Dude,
Hitch.
my
Here's
fro is so one-sided.
no, it's not. It's all over the place.
There we go.
So here's what we're doing, Hitch. You're gonna say your name, affiliations in the COD community, and if your life was a movie, what would the name of the movie be, and who would play you as an adult? And we're gonna start with Brigham, artist formerly known as Fatty, and then we're gonna go to Tommy, and then we'll do you, and then we'll do myself. All right, go ahead.
All right, the name of the movie would be Short, Fat, and Happy,
Nice.
and it would be
Short.
starring Danny DeVito.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
I like that.
because he's short and fat like me.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah,
He was good as the penguin.
he was a great
It
penguin.
was weird when he was eating fish, but that was kind of awkward. Like to
Well-
see a human eating like raw sardines, like that.
And I watched that new Gotham, and the penguin in that is like this skinny dude, and it kind of
make
freaks
any
me out.
sense.
Yeah, it freaks me out. I should have been the penguin in that show. I could have been that.
Can
Just
you
'cause I-
imagine if they casted like an overweight Batman? Like if the next Batman was like,
with the beard coming out of the mask.
Oh, well, I'm Batman. I'm Batman. You got a hamburger?
I heard you did.
You just go to the drive-through like,
This could be a Sunday morning cartoon series.
Be like,
Adventures
I'd
of-
like a number 5. Supersize it. They'd be like,
Oh,
what?
Lord.
What are you talking
Somebody
about?
put this on YouTube. All right, hey, Tommy, you're.
oh wait. Okay, if I was to have a film, I know who would play me. Scump's gonna play me because I'm apparently the British Scump.
Oh,
I
nice.
think. Okay, I'm gonna. If I was to have a film, ooh, I don't know. I'd like to have something like British, like James Bond, something along those lines. I don't know what it'd be called though. Maybe I'm not sure. Something along the lines of James Bond,
I'm
like.
Tommy, esports Tom.
No, that doesn't even work. But yeah, let's just go with that.
Oh my gosh. All right, somebody must have subbed. I don't know who.
Woo!
Huh?
Up hype.
Who was it? It says Hitch.
Hitch a ride.
Hitch?
Hitch sub?
Dicks? What?
He's been sitting here quietly, just like.
Oh,
hey,
I have
pal.
a good joke.
You
but
can
I
thank
can't-
Goalie for that.
I can't say it in the stream. Okay. Just look in the chat though, the Skype chat.
You're gonna tell me a joke in the Skype chat?
This is a joke aimed at Hitch's subscription.
Yeah.
Oh boy!
All right, Hitch, you're up.
I've got a finger that I can show you. Too. I can't show it right now on the.
I don't think he's in the best of moods right now.
Oh.
All right, go ahead, Hitch. You're up.
All right. What's up, guys? Hitch here. You can call me Tustin Jimberlake. And if I had a movie, I'm a content creator for Optic Intel, I think. And right now, if there was a movie to come out, first of all, Sandra Bullock would play me,
Oh my gosh.
and
Oh,
and it would probably be called
Dave.
Cracker Please, We Do This Now. That's what it would be called.
Where did you even get that title?
why does it look like you just searched that?
I searced it right in my head.
Is it just me or
I'm a
just
different-
It came out of his fro.
Old ideas.
is all-
Oh gosh. All right. So, oh, nice. Awesome, goalie. That's awesome. H1Z1 success. All right. So my movie would be called From Rags to Riches, played by Will Smith, and I am not rich or a baller in any. Well, now if you're in Somalia, I'm probably really wealthy. If anybody's watching from like the bush and somehow you guys got television reception, I'm probably really, really wealthy compared to you. However, in real life, I'm not poor, but I'm like lower middle class, I guess. I can afford to eat and drive places and put my kids in school, and that's about it. But I don't pay for their education. My uncle does. So, but I used to be dirt poor. And my mom was working a whole bunch of jobs. We lived with other people, and riches is like the success I have as far as like having a beautiful wife that loves me, 3 kids that I shouldn't have had because for 4 years doctors told me. No, I didn't mean it in a bad way.
Sorry.
Oh, I missed something. What did I miss?
Homeboy just tweeted. Oh my god.
What did he tweet?
He said, if the STiKS Live hits 1,000 viewers, Hitcher will shave his head.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, where did that come from?
That's
dude,
not
I got a
true.
straight razor. We
Where
can
did
make
that
it
come
happen.
from?
You
First
always
of all,
moan about
anybody
the
coming
throne.
into the stream right now, that is not true. That is not what's going to
It's already on
happen.
8 retweets. It's happening. It's happening.
Tasma's all shave or riot.
Oh my gosh. All right. So anyway, no, I wasn't supposed to have kids for 4 years, and the doctors told us we couldn't, and then we had 3 in a row. So it was pretty sweet.
That's
So
a blessing.
I feel like I do feel like I have riches. I have things that most men would like to acquire in their lives, like a family. I have, a cool job, and I get to do this stuff. So I think my life's pretty cool. All right. Who's Golden Boy calling a liar? Hitch?
Hitch.
He said,
If GB tweeted it, it must be
He would
true.
do that. Oh my gosh.
No, now other people are tweeting it out.
Yeah.
It's not.
I gotta find these tweets so I can retweet them. Now I gotta watch Twitter. Jeez, you guys are mean. All right, when am I getting on the show? I don't know who you are, bro. I'm sorry. All right, so thank you for the opening. I want to do a quick recap of the EU regional, and most of these questions are going to be aimed at Tommy. However, what is that sound?
Sorry.
What is that? Are you making?
My phone was on.
Oh,
yeah.
it's like, are you making? Everybody keeps asking if Fatty's lost weight. What are you doing, Fatty? Are you like on a miracle diet? Like, what's
It's
going
the
on?
beard. It's the beard.
I don't know, dude. It's
Yeah,
called
the beard way that
it's called you lose your job and then you stop eating because it sucks.
Because you gotta save your. See, most people start eating when they lose their job.
Dude, I'm when I'm eating, I'm good. It's
So you
called-
like binge, not eat. You binge
Yes.
fast when you are having a bad day. That's interesting. So give me your goal weight, and I'll just make sure to ruin your day every day until you get there.
my goal weight's like
Eat chocolate on stream.
Jeez.
I'll just start tweeting out like the things
Oh.
that are mean, like at Fatty.
That's cruel.
What?
Oh.
Then he'll lose all his weight and he'll be happy. Well, actually, I guess it was Sharp that said he wanted to lose some of his volume last week. So
That's right.
maybe I should start tweeting mean things at Sharp. TK never hashtag. Okay, so EU regional. The top 4 were Epsilon TCM Aware and this Team Finland team that I had never heard of. So Tommy, I kind of wanted to know, you're the host of the STiKS EU, and you guys are probably going to be talking about this, but I kind of wanted to get your feedback on who would you say was your. I know Benson tweeted at us and asked who would we say was the MVP from the event. Who would you say was the MVP?
Honestly, someone like Swanee. He went off in I think the semis. He got a 9 kill streak or something. But just generally, Swanee proved how good he was over in North America. He came back. He has in no way kind of gone backwards, and he was consistent whole event. Put up a pretty good statistics in general. I think he was 1.22 KD.
Yeah.
30 kills per respawn. I mean, he was just a pretty consistent player. He plays well so well. He is formal in the sense that, he sits back with a bow, just picks people off, especially in hardpoint. And, no player does it better than him really in the EU scene, and just in general play pretty well.
Well, yeah, did Fatty or Hitch, did either one of you guys have a MVP choice for the EU regional?
I didn't watch any of the tournament.
I watched it, but I'm just trying to think. I thought Marky B played well, even though they got
It's a shame.
taken out.
That was.
I actually thought he was carrying for a while. If he would have been on another team, I think they might have actually pulled it through.
He was the only person on his team with over a 1 KD.
Mm.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. They weren't doing as well as they could have. Golden Boy is really determined to make.
I know he is. God.
So I said he will do it. Take my word for it. Oh my lord.
Anyway,
It's not true, guys. It's just not true.
I would have to agree, Tommy, with Swanee, but I don't think I would make him MVP. It's weird. A lot of people, like when I was tweeting this out, were saying that that Josh would be the MVP.
Josh did play well, indeed.
Yeah, but it seemed like, I don't know if he only play well like the last day, because his stats don't reflect that he consistently played well.
Well, I mean, on the first day he only played one series. So I mean, if you're saying did his stats, if he played well on the second day, overall he had a good event, because I think he played 4 series on the second day, 1 series on the first day. So when you're looking at it that way, yeah, Josh did play very well, especially in hardpoint. I think he dropped 2 40 bombs in hardpoint out of the 5 series he played. So that's not a bad stat going on.
That is not a bad stat. If I had to choose an MVP, and I only got to watch actually the first day, I would probably go with Jerd. I think just across the board, and we'll talk about this in a minute, but across the board, he had one of the most consistent score lines. Like, he was in the top 20 of every single category. He played ridiculously well in hardpoint while maintaining a good Slayer stat. So I think I would go with Jerd. Was there anybody at the tournament, at the event, that kind of surprised you? Any teams?
I mean, Team Finland, I guess. I mean, obviously, I think on day number 2, especially for the North American kind of audience, if you didn't get to watch it, basically, I think the seeds were randomized, and Team Finland had a bye.
Weird. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, then round 2 they played Hyper Games, beat them 3-1. Then obviously got to the semi-finals where they lost to Epsilon. But just the fact that they got to the semi-finals and took home $1,250 is pretty incredible in itself. Because you would have thought someone like Vitality, Essentia, someone like that would have been there. So from that instance, Aware EU, Joe on their team was pretty impressive, especially in S&D.
Yeah.
He had some amazing players, I thought. But yeah, just for a team, I guess Team Finland.
Yeah. So what would your... I guess I agree, because I didn't even know who they were. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how fair it was to give them a bye, but I guess since it was random...
It's random, exactly.
Whatever happens, happens. So what was your... If you had to give this event an overall score... as far as the casting, the broadcast itself, and the competition, out of 1 through 10, what would you give?
Ooh, a 6, maybe 7. I mean, I liked the way Gfinity did things, in the sense that they kept on getting the games going, kind of thing. They didn't wait around, have a 15 to an hour break between each game. They literally was a 2-minute break, straight on the next game. So from that instance, I thought the production was really good. Competition wise, obviously it's not as good as North America, but I thought casting spot on. I thought Tan especially did a really good job. But as you say, the competition isn't as kind of going to be as heated as it will be this weekend with the North American regionals.
Do you think it was good, in your opinion? And I guess I'll swing this over to Hitch and Fatty. So, Hitch, I know you said you didn't watch the Mr. X was there. I don't know how he magically flew on a carpet overnight and didn't sleep at all, just went straight to casting. But do you think it was a good thing or a bad thing for him to go there and jump into the hot seat? It probably, maybe it drove viewership, I don't know. But I'm asking you guys, do you think it would be better if they maintained kind of EU casters for EU events, or is it good to mix it up with some of the NA casters?
No, I think it's good to mix it up, because I like it when EU casters come over and cast North American events.
Yeah.
Not just Benson, because he's
not even
American
anymore.
Yeah, he's American now.
Benson
stolen from us.
I like it when Brycey comes over and
he does UMG.
Yeah, it does UMGs, and I think they're going to be there's got to be a few of them at champs. I'm assuming there's a ton of casters.
Yeah, there's 4 streams. There can't just be 4 casters.
Yeah.
But...
So I'm hoping. Yeah, I really like it gives kind of like a soccer feel to me.
Oh dear. That's
Oh,
What you mean?
dear.
Football. He's a football
Yeah,
fan.
I
it's
just
football.
like.
The rest of the world call it football. Just admit it.
All right, well, I am appreciating culture diversity here. So if you
Okay.
could, just kidding. I was about to go
Okay.
on.
Benson underscore US. Benson married an American dude.
Fatty.
He married Puckett. No,
I could see that.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, you know that's gonna hit Twitter. Oh,
Oh my
man.
god.
You gotta watch. Y'all gotta be careful, man.
I was teasing.
I'm getting reckless
Puckett's
and more and more
getting married
reckless.
pretty soon, though. I think next month.
Yeah.
Next month he's getting
engaged.
married,
Benson.
and it's a girl. So just so you guys, just so it's clear,
Now you're on personal terms.
she's actually very
Thank you.
beautiful too. So good for you, Chris Puckett.
Thank you, Brigham. So I wanted to update you guys on the infuse situation. I did a video about it, so if you've seen the video, then you know what happened. But basically, the team infused that qualified for COD Champs in LA did not. They played one bracket round on the second day, and they won and went to round 2 after beating, I think it was Gamers 2, and then they were disqualified. And Gamers 2 took their place because Reedy, who was on the STiKS EU a week ago or 2 weeks ago,
Yeah. Last Wednesday.
So basically, the guy Robs from Intensity, I believe, is one of the teams that didn't qualify. Robs from Intensity owed Reedy some money that he had loaned him. Reedy asked for the money, and Rob said, "I don't have it." Reedy grabbed him by his shirt or jacket or something, and Rob says that they were in a corner, so he felt cornered. But basically, when Reedy grabbed him, he swung on him, and then they started scrapping. It didn't last very long, but it was long enough of a fight, and I believe it was in the hotel lobby, not at the event. But still, they were, I don't know if it was Activision or I think it was Gfinity that kind of dropped the hammer. They first said they're eliminated from the rest of regionals. And then they came out about an hour later, and Gfinity announced that Reedy himself is not able to play in LA, which basically, and they have to pick someone. Now, here's the bad part. They have to pick someone that has not played in any of the qualifiers or the regional tournament. So they basically have to pick up like an amateur player from the EU or someone that plays on a team that just decided not to play at all. I was joking around. I tweeted out that they should play with Fearcrads. A lot of people said they should play with Benny Central. And
did he not play though? Did he not try to qualify?
No.
I think Benny Central is probably his best option then.
Yeah, they're already looking at someone because they got to figure this out because they are going. So the challenge though is that Spacely, well, he tried to make it as well, and he was like, well, you guys can pick me up. But they already asked Activision. Activision said it can't be, I think it can't be an NA player or something like that. Because Spacely didn't try out for any qualifiers at all, but they have to pick a player from the EU. So I feel bad for Infused. They looked really good out of their 2 first games that they played. They went 2-0 at the regionals, but they weren't able to go any farther than that. So that's unfortunate. So Kozdov said TK will loan them Benny. So I guess Central is going to potentially be playing for them. But
I'd be gunning hard for Big T.
I would
just go to an event, play with Big T,
yeah,
and just chill.
Wait, does Benson count as an EU person? Couldn't he?
Yeah, surely.
That's true.
Surely. But would you want Benson on your team rather than like Benny Central?
Oh, roasted! He leaves EU and he immediately gets posted.
Well, he has to cast though. So
I'm tweeting infused _ Benson. All right. So, a couple of questions that we got from Twitter regarding the EU event, and it'd be nice if I could open this link. All right. So the first one is from Juve. Free agent, Juve EU, and he says, who do you think the top 3 EU players are? And I'm going to start with myself. Based on this event, well, I don't think I can not put Swanee up there, not just because he came to the NA, but because he actually is a good player and he does good, he had the highest KD on his team. And I know people say that. What do they say? He's a turret gun. Like
he's like the formal. He's like the formal of the British like kind of Call of Duty scene.
So he just bows it up, holds down the spot.
Yeah, never gets in the hill. Never gets in the hill.
Yeah, it just doesn't die. No. So I definitely would put Swanee up there. His ability to call shots on his team and to consistently deliver those results as a whatever this is. The turret, whatever he does. I think Swanee does a good job. And then based on this event, I would throw Jerd in there. And if I had to decide between like Tommy, Mad Cat, Josh,
Jerd.
I said Jerd already.
Oh, you already said Jerd, sorry.
Yeah, so I'd say Swanee, Jerd, and I Rage. No, I'm just joking.
Biggest detriment or best player?
I'm just gonna go with Josh. I wouldn't say, I don't know if he's the best EU player. I see somebody that's like Tommy is better than Swanee. Tommy, Swanee, and Jordan Mad Cat. Well, maybe I'll throw Tommy in there. Tommy is pretty good. I need to watch more of their off main event gameplay from the EU.
Yeah, that's my problem.
Yeah, like because you're only gonna guess whoever you hear about, right? Like,
exactly. Like I've only seen. I don't think I've watched a little bit of Marky B's streams every once in a while, but like as far as my knowledge of EU gameplay, it's just based off of majors and lands. So. Yeah, you can only guess so much.
It's just what you hear, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. All right, Tommy, who would you say?
Okay, I would say definitely Swanee. I'd put Mad Cat in there as well, and then Jerd.
Swanee, Mad Cat, and Jerd.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't really argue whether or not that's legitimate.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say.
Thumbs up.
All right, next question from Twitter. This is why we do this show, because we learn. Next question is from Ben S. Boss Lions Pride, and he says, somebody sounds like they're outside. Like someone, there's like this wind sound. What EU team would you predict to make it into top 5 placing at champs, or do you think any of them can make top 8? I'm going to start with Fatty on this one.
I would say probably Epsilon. I think they could do top 5 probably. They'll probably be top 3 maybe.
Whoa!
We'll see.
Bold move, Cotton.
Well, I mean, it all depends on if they show up, and unfortunately, EU teams that have traveled to America haven't done well.
It's interesting that you say that, Tommy. If you can briefly, Oh, the sound went away. Whoever did.
Yeah, that was me then.
Tommy had a good video actually that came out today regarding is the EU scene irrelevant because of how bad they do when they come to North America. But when we go over there, there's always an EU team in the finals, like of Gfinity. And so, what was your reasoning behind saying that you legitimize their bad play?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not just trying to kind of like, come up with any old excuse. But the factor is like, especially for like Anaheim or any kind of event over on West Coast, the flight for that is a good like, I think like 12 to 14 hours. So jet lag plays a part. I think we are eight hours ahead over here in the UK. So, getting over jet lag will take like more than just a couple of days from that instance. And also the fact that if you come over from the UK or whether it be in Europe, because you're a European team, by like under MLG rules, you have to start in the open bracket. Therefore, you've got to grind out so many matches. By the time you actually make it to the champ bracket, you are so tired, you are jet lagged, you've played so many matches, you're so tired, and you just want to sleep that you're never gonna perform like on your A game, just period, never. Like, and that's why we see, I think at UMG Orlando, I think we had Basic, Vitality, and Epson, if I'm not mistaken, and they all placed like near enough top 24. So that's kind of my reasoning behind it. I don't know if you kind of agree or.
I want to ask if Hitch agrees.
I was talking in the chat. What's up?
So basically, basically, Tommy stated that that a lot of the reason that EU teams don't do as well in NA events is because of the jet lag, especially if it's a West Coast event like Anaheim, COD Champs, because the flight is like 12 to 13 hours. And then when they're playing is like, for them, it would be like 3 in the morning, 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And if you're grinding out through losers bracket or if you're playing a whole bunch of matches one day, they're just overly tired. Like their brains are just dead. And so would you agree with that? Is not saying that they would win the event, but do you think that that has a lot to do with why they don't do as well as when we fly over to the EU?
Well, when we fly over to the EU, we win.
But they get top 2, top 3, top 4. They don't get,
every Gfinity, someone, I think Epsilon have got 2 and TCM have got 1, have been in the grand finals.
Yeah.
Whereas the best we've done in terms of European teams over in America is at Anaheim last year, third with TCM.
So why can't? I mean, that seems like an.
I have an answer.
Okay, go ahead.
I think it's because not only do we have the jet lag, like the EU players come over here, a little bit more jet lag, but they go out and I don't want to say party, but they go do stuff. Like I know Lightning Pandas, they just like hung out and went to Disneyland and stuff like that while they were here and playing, and they also had to go through the open bracket in Anaheim. I think that's a big part of it. But as far as they're going to LA, it's a big place that they can party, and they're going to do all they can to make the experience awesome.
See them
over there. Yeah. And that's, going to the attractions, going to bars, being, at clubs, maybe even like there's usually Twitch parties around that time or, other parties. Mm-hmm. So there's just a lot of stuff for them to do while they're here.
It sounds like there's a lot of contributing factors.
Yeah, there is.
The fact that they're not succeeding. Go ahead.
But then we go over to England. It's typically a less time travel. There's still going to be jet lag, but I think our players like just go and play while they're there, and then they spend the week after. They do business and then travel, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they hit up the casino for sure. But I think so. It probably is also the time difference. Like if we're in the EU, when we're playing on their time frame, it's like an 8-hour difference, and so we would be playing like somewhere around mid-afternoon, morning. But when they're over here, they're playing at like 3 a.m. Yeah. And my question, I guess there is some validity to the fact that if, let's say, Epsilon lived in America for a month before COD Champs, like if they moved here right now and they just lived here and they got used to the jet lag, sleep schedule, their bodies got used to it, they got used to grinding out here, and then they went and played in Champs, I think they would do better. I mean, I don't know how good. I'm not saying they would win, but I think they would do better. There is
definitely,
to Hitch's point, yes, the North American teams are just better. There are better players in North America for Call of Duty. However, I think that there is the EU scene out of all the other countries is growing, continually growing a crop of better and better and better players, because the younger people start playing, like a Hook. How good is that dude going to be in like 4 years? It's like the younger and younger people start playing in the EU because they see Swanee, they see Jerd, they see Mad Cat, they see Tommy, they see Josh, they see these players and they want to be like TCM, they want to be like Epsilon. And then you've got people like, where's Gotaga from? Because I know he's like a huge YouTuber. I have no idea where that guy for Vitality. He's French, right?
He's the French monster.
French.
Yeah. So I mean, as people start playing like that, there's going to be teams. There's going to be people that are going to start get better, better, better. And in like 2 years, if COD Champs still exist, I think an EU team could easily be top 2 or win the event. Like I think it just depends on our talent over here. But a person like Krim, who's been on the STiKS as long as he can remember, playing Halo first and then switching over to Call of Duty, or a person like Formal or Scumpy, like it's just a different league of talent at this time. But the EU scene, I'm not diminishing it by any means. I think they're continuing. Players are getting better and better and better. So, I don't know.
Well, we saw they came and got third. I don't think anybody predicted that.
No.
So, that's true. That's true. Jagoli just said it was during a championship bracket, so they didn't have to go. Wait, did they go? Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
All
I'm
right,
gonna step in here quick and say this. When TCM did place top 3 at Anaheim, that was
Goalie
during a
with the
championship bracket.
What is that voice?
That was during the championship bracket. So that was the one event where we actually got to see true potential at an MLG event. We'll say, because they didn't have to play.
Someone's
open
hacked the
bracket there.
stream.
Okay.
Hit your face. Hit your face while goalie was talking.
Okay, screw their music.
On the stream.
Where is Rocky? Why isn't she? Oh, there's Rocky. She's like, ah. All right. So the last question is real quick from Juve again, and he said, "Do you think Reedy's ban was fair?" I don't care who chimes in. Any opinion?
Yeah.
I'll take it. I really don't think it was. It wasn't on the premises of where they were having the event. Therefore, I just don't. I don't know. I understand they're trying to clean up stuff, but as long as it wasn't like out of hand. Did anybody go to the hospital? I mean,
Yes.
Yeah, Reedy.
Oh, really?
To the hospital.
Yeah.
For what?
He
Did
said
break
he
his hand?
bit his lip, but he probably bit his lip getting punched.
Well, I think Rob's did retaliate by the sounds of it, but in self-defense.
Oh, they
So,
fought. Yeah, they actually
you know,
fought each other. And
Yeah,
so,
there's probably some stitches.
yeah, it wasn't very long, but he said he bit his lip, so it's like maybe it's like, if you get punched, you kind of can easily bite your lip.
Yeah, either way, like as long as for me, as long as it's not where the event is being held, I don't know. It shouldn't be the concern, but I understand what they're doing. So I guess I see both sides.
So
But-
you're saying, in your opinion, artist formerly known as Fatty, if Scumpy and Clayster got into a fight in the hotel lobby, but not at the event, between let's say right before Championship Sunday, so Saturday evening after the games are over, they get in a fight in the hotel lobby. Scumpy has to go to, let me not say who has to go to the hospital because that could turn into people saying, Kingdom said, Clayster beat up Scump.
That'll be on Reddit in 5 minutes.
So let's say one of them goes to the hospital. Let's say Clayster's glasses poke him in the eyeball or something.
Oh my God.
So one of them goes to the hospital. In your personal opinion, Activision, whoever, has no right to, or MLG, to ban either of them from matches. Is what
I didn't say they didn't have the right.
You think
I don't
it's too
know.
harsh, is what you're saying?
I think it's too harsh. And I think what I really think is harsh is the fact that they can't pick up anybody that qualified. Because that just eliminates like 99 percentile of all the good players, except for, who was it?
What?
Okay.
Oh, we're back? You can see my face?
Yeah.
So welcome back. Thank you guys for all not leaving us. This is unfortunate. Goalie has some training to do with us to teach us how to make this not happen again. So I want to do the quickest relegation recap. We don't even need to recap. Basically, the teams that were in the league for Season 1 are in the league again for Season 2. What a great recap. Optic Nation almost lost, and that would have changed a lot, because it would have been you would have had Optic Nation, FaZe Black, and SB's entire rosters, all those pro players, not in Season 2. So there would have been some teams getting annihilated as far as their rosters go. They would have been robbed. You still, of course, have FaZe Black and SB available. So you look at teams like Elevate. I don't think AR is going to switch their roster at all, but look at teams like Elevate. I don't know who else in the league is at risk. A lot of these teams are becoming pretty loyal, but we'll see how that works out. So that's all we're going to do for relegation. Thank you. Awesome recap. All right, moving on. Goalie, I still don't see my face. Oh, they said I could see everyone. Okay, it's just my stream. Whatever. I'm not even going to worry about it. So the North American Regionals. You can find this bracket at Codpedia, and somebody will link it for you in the chat. I think I will. I don't have a problem doing that. So there's the link for the bracket, and we're going to walk through the signature matchups, and all I need from each of you is like who's going to win. There are some of these where I might ask a follow-up question because there's some close ones, but who do you think is going to take it? So basically, from the looks of the bracket, if you win 2 matches starting at the beginning, if you win 2 matches and winners, you are qualified for COD Champs. Because there's only going to be 8 teams left at round 3 of the winners bracket. If you go to the losers, I think right off the first round, you have to win 3 matches to qualify. And I don't know how they're doing it because they're qualifying 14 out of 32. If they said 16, then it would just be everybody that makes it into round 3 is qualified. But because they're only doing 14, I don't know how they're going to pick the last 2. There's probably going to have to be some kind of relegation match between a few teams to make it. So let's rattle off these matches real quick, and we're going to start with what's going to be one of the most exciting matches, which is SB versus TK. And I'm assuming that SB and TK are winning their first round matches. I'm not even going to tell you guys the names of the people they're playing. I'm sorry.
I've actually casted both those teams like recently.
Are they both going to lose?
You know, Bittersweet, especially, they're pretty darn good, actually. But I think TK beats them. Boreal,
okay.
the Canadian team, could give Strictly Business a run for their money.
I watched you stream them. I watched you cast that. Boreal was pretty good, I think, but putting them up against Strictly Business, I would say
SB should beat them, but I don't know.
3-1.
I thought
They'll
SB would go through the relegation too.
Oh, let's not talk about that craziness. This is LAN though, so it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, true.
This isn't online because SB, at LAN, I think they would have qualified. I hope. That's why it's weird that they didn't do an open event like they did for season 1 and have people qualify from playing a LAN tournament, but it's an online league, so whatever. All right, so SB versus TK, who wins? Fatty.
TK. I think SB has a chance of beating them, especially Neslo is going to step it up. He's going to be hype, I guarantee it. But if they're able to shut him down or shut, say, Dito down and get one of them to start acting a little negatively, I believe TK will throttle him.
Hitch, SB or TK?
TK.
Now, we do know that this is going to be great because we're looking at Neslo versus the reunited team that doesn't have him on it.
Yeah.
Reunited? No Neslo. So I'm gonna have to agree with you guys. I think TK on LAN have proven that they can do really well. I think the way they finished at Orlando was not evident of it didn't really show their true skill getting 3-0'd out of the tournament, but that was probably because of the way they lost.
I was like, geez.
Yeah, it was probably because of the way they lost. They're a much better team than that. So I think 3-1. I agree with Trollinator in the chat. All right, Envy. Now, you may think that why is this a good matchup? So I'm just going to say it because Envy hasn't necessarily performed consistently how we thought they would. Envy versus Orbit. And Orbit is Sinful Twiz, Accuracy, and Lawless. Is it an easy win for Envy, or is this going to be a good match?
It's going to be a good match. Now that I think about it.
Yes.
I don't know. It all depends. It all depends on how Envy comes out.
Exactly.
If the Envy from last weekend comes out, it's going to be a hell of a game or a match.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch a close series. But I mean, if all 4 players play to their potential and play to how they should be playing as veterans, then it shouldn't be close. In my opinion.
This Envy roster, if they play to their potential, they are top 4. Like they have to play to their potential though. Go ahead, Fatty.
I was going to say, if you look on paper, Envy should destroy them.
Yes.
On paper. But yes. I still think those guys are trying to find their chemistry. They're trying to figure out who's doing what.
Yep.
I think it really is on Merc. Merc needs to really step it up and be that leader that everybody knows he can be and guide his team to a quick victory over Orbit. But I do think Orbit's a great team. I think they have their really good moments, but on paper, Envy should beat them.
Yeah, Merc had one of his worst events of his career in Orlando, and he admitted that on Twitter. He just said, I played bad this weekend. I let my team down. I'm definitely going to play better at regionals. And so I think in order to lead, I agree with you 100%, Fatty, but I think in order to lead, and this is one of the complaints that Rambo got, which got him dropped, it's like, there has to be a base level that you're going to perform at. Like, what is your norm? You have to at least perform there. You can't perform under your norm. If you do better, great. But if you perform consistently lower than your basic level, like, so if Merc does really bad, consistently, they're not going to trust him as a leader. That's why Karma had problems with Rambo, is because Karma's like, dude, I'm getting 60% of the kills, and you're complaining that I'm doing the wrong thing when you're going negative, super negative every match.
Yeah.
There's a fine balance. This is the same thing we've always talked about with Nade and Krim. Could get in this same argument, but they understand their roles clearly. And I think Envy, like you said, Fatty, they're not there yet. They don't clearly understand exactly who.
I think Envy's another one of these teams that we've seen time and time again form up. They're a power squad, and they just haven't found. I don't know if they'll ever find it.
It's like they're missing the X
Before
factor.
chance.
It's like
Exactly,
there's something not there.
All four of these people, they've all won championships. Am I right?
Yeah.
And they've all done it with different people, but the four of them together is just, for some reason, it's not working.
Yeah, it sounds like the Optic Nation squad that couldn't find their
Optic Nation, FaZe Black, it's happened over and over and over again. So
and I think maybe that X factor,
even the new
time.
FaZe Red.
You said the X factor is who?
Time.
Yes.
I don't think
I would
they
normally
give each
agree
other
with you.
time.
I would normally agree with you if we've seen time affect it in the past. I can't think of a team that came out that we were like power squad and then they just sucked, and then we were like, oh, and then 3 months later they were really good. Has that ever happened?
Well, I think
they don't ever let it last longer.
Yeah, they don't
than
stay
2
together.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
true.
the problem. Is they don't stay together. So that's why you've never seen it. Because it just doesn't happen.
Well,
but one thing you say is Optic, like the current Optic squad, they started off a little slow, and then they just started blowing through people. So
how
do they start off slow?
The one team that I would say should have been better than they were was the Envy of Black Ops 2 with Karma. That team, they consistently lost and they just kept losing. And then even when they went over to Ghost, they kept losing. And I think it was Envy just struggled at that time. Karma tried to stay with them. He tried really hard. But it just didn't work out. That was, and I think there are some teams where time doesn't work in their favor, and there's teams where time does. But when we talked to Merc when he was on the show, one of the things he said is that once they know this isn't working, they're immediately these teams, they don't wait anymore. They start looking for what needs to change, because so I guess both of you are right, but there's no team is going to give us enough time to see if they're going to do well. All right, so this is going to be one of the best matches, the teams that I'm about to say of the tournament, in my opinion, because this is to qualify. These next 4 matches I mentioned, these are all to qualify for COD Champs. The first one is AR versus Prophecy. If they both win their first round against the lower tier teams or top AMs, whatever you want to call them, AR versus Prophecy to qualify. So you've got Wheats, Burns, BL Fire, and Anticity versus Ricky, Bose, Moch, and Classic. And whichever team wins that match will be going to LA. Will punch their ticket to LA. The other team is going to have to play through the winner's bracket or the loser's bracket. So I'll start with Hitch. AR or Prof?
I think, wow, the air bubble. I think Prof wins that.
Okay. Are you putting all your money on Bose just because of his ability to make it happen?
No. I just think they mesh well, and I haven't really seen much out of AR. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they've been doing good. I mean, they've been doing better online because Burns has been just he's been playing actually pretty consistent. But on LAN, we'll have to see how they do. What do you think, Fatty? AR
That's a hard one to call. I think it's going to be AR. I think you see somebody like BL Fire step it up on LAN, and I think AR is a better LAN team. So I want to say AR just to be different.
All right, I'm gonna go with Prof, and I am gonna put my money on Bose. Money B. So Bose, don't let me down. But I think if you on paper, Ricky, Bose, Moch, and Classic are a better team on paper. So I would like to see that team punch their ticket. But I'll say this: I think AR makes it anyway. I think they make it to the tournament.
Who do they
Alright,
have to
so
beat in losers? Can you do that
I
math real
have
quick?
no idea. No.
Oh, okay.
We don't know how losers. The thing is because they're only picking 14 instead of 16. I don't know how losers is going to work. I don't know how they're going to pick the other because 8 can qualify from the round 3 of winners, but I don't know how they're going to pick the other. What is that? 6 teams from losers. There's no place where there's 6 teams left, so I don't know how that's going to work. All right, next match, and this is to qualify, and you guys are probably like, well, that's a no-brainer, but Revenge and Denial. Does anybody think Revenge can at least give him any?
Dude,
even give him...
I am not sleeping on Revenge.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if Denial comes out hot, if they come out consistent, all 4 of them are consistent, yeah, they're gonna win. But teams that are consistently called online warriors, and then they go to a LAN, that's all they think about. They think about proving people wrong. We've seen it with Attach. We've seen it with Hook. Everybody who is, they know they have great internet, but they know they're also great players. That's what they're focused on. They're focused not only on winning, but proving everyone wrong that is going to, just like wreck them on Twitter. So I think Revenge comes out hot, and it all just depends on what Denial does.
Well, I think you gotta look at Denial. They just came off a 2nd place win. I think they're still pretty warmed up, still pretty hot. I believe they take it, but I agree with you. You can't sleep on Revenge. I think Pittsburgh, my buddy Pittsburgh, he's always put together a team that competes with the best, and they've almost upset Optic a couple times at different places.
3-0.
Yeah, so I think Raphael, he's always putting together great teams, but I still think Denial beats him. I mean, Denial's a great squad.
I agree.